Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson, for sharing your beautiful voice with all of us. I must say that was quite melodious. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, now let's move on to our parents. I must say, my English home is not an institute where you just come for 2 or 3 months, learn the language or life skills, and go. It's an institute where you have an opportunity to transform yourself over the years. There's so many students, there's so many kids who've been with the institute for 3 or 4 years, and we can definitely see the transformation in them. We all know that you evolve, you change slowly, and it takes time. So my English home understands that. So, it's not, the courses over here are not just for 2 or 3 months, but they take time, they give you proper attention so that you can evolve in the human being that you want over the years. So there's so many students who are attached with us, even parents. For 3 and 4 years, it's been like since 3 or 4 years, they are there with my English home and they can see the changes in them. So I think it's the only institute in Delhi that gives you an opportunity, that too for such a longer period of time. And now let's move on. We have our next participant with us, Seema, and she'll be talking about the history of English language. So can we have huge round of applause for them, please? एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए, all of you. A big round of applause. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and this is Seema, and today I'm going to tell you a short history of the origin and development of English. The history of English language really started with the arrivals of 3 Germanic tribes who invaded Britain during 5th century AD. These tribes, the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes, crossed North Sea from what today is Denmark and northern Germany. At that time, the inhabitants of Britain spoke a Celtic language, but most of the Celtic speakers were pushed north and west by the invaders, mainly into what is now Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. The Angles came from England, and their language was called English, from which the word English and England are derived. The invading Germanic tribes spoke similar languages which in Britain developed into what we now call Old English. Old English do not sound or look like English today. Nevertheless, about half of the most commonly used words in modern English have Old English roots. The words be, strong, and water, for example, are derived from Old English. In 1066, William the Conqueror, the Duke of Normandy, invaded and conquered England. The new conqueror brought with them a kind of French, which became the language of royal court, the ruling, and the business classes. For a period, there was a kind of linguistic class division, where the lower classes spoke English and the upper classes spoke French. In 14th century, English became dominant in Britain again, but with many French words added. This language is called Middle English. Towards the end of Middle English, there was a sudden and distinct change in pronunciation started, with vowels being pronounced shorter and shorter. From 16th century, British had contact with many people around the world. This and the renaissance of the classical learning meant that many new words and phrases entered the language. Printing also brought standardization to English. Spelling and grammar became fixed, and the dialect of learner, where most of the publishing houses were, became the standard. In 1604, the first English dictionary was published. Now, I hope that you must have become aware of the history of English language. Thank you and have a nice day.
Please stay back and share your experience. I've heard that it's more than 3 years that you are attached with my English home. Yeah, so please tell us about your transformation and how did you change yourself and what kind of change you can see. Can you please come over here at the center?
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Actually, with my children, I'm associated with this field for last 4 years, but I decided to take the classes. Only last year I decided to take the classes actually. So I'm not that much trained till now, but I'm trying my level best for doing the best thing. And it is the efforts of Nikhil sir and Mukul sir who make us possible to stand here. I don't think I could stand here, but this is the efforts of sir only. Thank you, sir, for everything.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know that public speaking is the biggest fear that people have nowadays, especially Indians, they quite fear public speaking. But when you are very proficient with the language, then only you can come over here and talk to people and speak like this. So I think in 1 year, my English home has done a commendable job. Seema came over here and, she spoke with all of you confidently, and moreover, she gave a good speech about history of English language. So can we have a huge round of applause for Seema, please? I think in 1 year, that's quite a short span. She's come over here and she's talking to all of you in such a fluency. That's a commendable and incredible job that my English home has done. And with that, I would like to invite Gunita on stage. And her topic is the religion of England. Hi, welcome Gunita.
Hello everyone, this is Gunita and I'm going to talk about the religion of England. The religion of a country defined to a large extent the culture thereof. They tell a story of its past and give a certain degree of information about its current society. In England, Christianity remains the most prestigious language today, despite its ancient history of paganism. Paganism refers to the religious traditions that are characterized by the belief in multiple gods, rather than one main god and creator. These religions include Celtic polytheism, Norse paganism, and Roman polytheism, and so on. The main religion that is followed in England is Christianity. Christianity was introduced when the Romans arrived, and the history dates back to 200s and 300s of the Common Era. And when the Romans retreated from England, they left behind the Christian culture. That was somewhat revived when the missionaries from Europe and Scotland arrived there. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gunita. I must say that was quite an interesting speech. Next participant is Simran, and her topic is British customs. So ladies and gentlemen, we are having all mothers now. So I think we should raise both of our hands up and give them a huge round of applause. It's quite difficult to take out time from your busy schedules, from your family, come over here, learn, and I think they've done extremely well.
Hello everybody, this is Simran. I'm going to introduce you to British custom and etiquettes. 4 countries make the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. While the 4 countries share many customs, each has its own set of cultural nuances. In England, politeness, reserve and restraint are admired. The English are courteous, unassuming and unembracive, and are very proud of their long and rich history. Meeting and greeting. The people are reserved. They like a certain... The British are reserved, which may cause them to appear cool, indifferent and overly formal. In fact, they are very friendly to helpful to the foreigners. Shake hands with everyone at business and social meetings. Handshakes are light, not firm. Women should extend their hands to men first. The body language. The British are not backslappers or touchers and generally don't display affection in public. Hugging, kissing and touching is usually reserved for the family members. The British like a certain amount of personal space. Don't stand close to another one. Don't put around your hand on someone's shoulders. Cheering is considered rude. Dining and hosting. Summon a waiter by raising your hands. Don't wave or shout. The most business entertaining is done at restaurants or pubs over lunch. The host, one who extends the business invitation, pays the bill. People. Now I am telling you about the people. People are in the larger cities, dress more formally, especially in London. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Simran. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now let's move on to next quite interesting topic, that is war on black money, demonetization. We all have faced quite problems, many problems with it, as there were no money in ATMs and we all had to focus on the digital transactions. But then also, most of us agree that it's a good step that our Prime Minister has taken for the country, and it'll also help us to fight black money, to fight corruption. So ladies and gentlemen, our debate is on this topic. So I have students joining me. I would like to invite on stage David, we also call him Rachit. We have Hardik, we have Robert, we also call him Manav. Then again we have Akshit, Benjamin. Then we also have with us Manav, we also call him Robert, and Akshit, Benjamin. We request the students to please start the debate.